field. So, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. Everybody knows I'm a college football fan, and college football power rankings tonight coming.
Right?
Number two, so
I was gonna say,
I'm hysterical.
to be official and formal about it, we started the UFL's power ranking show on Tuesday night first, and
Yep.
the ESPN and the college football gurus saw how good of an idea it was, so they just thought that they would throw their little ranking show up on our night and try to horn in on some of that. But yeah, big news for your Tigers over there.
Yep. I just want to give a shout out to the Pac-12, Big 12. How y'all doing?
Right? Y'all still play football out there? Oh me, yeah. I will admit I was a little bit shocked to see Alabama at number 4, um, just because they had the loss. But I think their little shot they did with the explanations, I felt a little bit better about
Yeah.
jumping everybody because of the strength of schedules and stuff like that. So
Yep. It's all about who you play.
right,
That's why in the UFL this year we put it to where everybody plays everybody. It
yep,
was the same thing with the last season. They were like, well, the Titans didn't play this and this, and the Warriors didn't play this and this. So it kind of relates a little bit to that power ranking tonight. They base it on strength of schedule, and this year in the UFL, we are playing everybody plays everybody at least once.
yep. So if you're out there in TV or Twitch or Hitbox land, you're not out there in Twitch land anymore. If you are, you're staring at a blank screen. But if you're out there in Hitbox world or whatever and want to come on down, hit up one of our people in the studio here, or I just posted a link a few minutes ago in the UFL Facebook group, so you can come on down and join the live audience as we break down the rankings. So I could talk to y'all about how proud I was of Alabama all night. I'll wait until next week after we've beaten LSU and I've won a bet, and then we'll point it all out. So we're going to get right to the board this week. And I've got, after a somewhat surprising, I don't really know that I saw it coming exactly like that, loss this week, our number 12 team, the King Cobras. And they come in this week having just lost to the Huskies. Um, Dubbed the Basement Bowl by some, others just two teams that desperately needed a win, and the Cobras the King Cobras came on the short end of that stick, so they are in the 12th spot this week. Moving up to the 11 spot this week, where's the team that beat them last week's number 12, the Huskies. So they secure their first win of the season. They move up a spot as a result. Number 10, and still I believe searching for their first win, is the Broncos, team that many, including myself, believe has some brighter days ahead of them and just have not been able to cash in on the schedule yet. But they are placing in at number 10, and I haven't been clicking my little board here, so we'll just rewind. 12 again was the Cobras, and 11 was our Huskies. 10 was... Let me find them. They run together sometimes. The Broncos. There they are. And then our newly announced, that I haven't said yet, number 9 team this week, the Patriots. So there are your bottom 4 teams that could jump the most with some impressive wins this coming up weekend. And we'll have to see if they can get that done on the field. I believe this is a full weekend, so I think everybody's playing. But to give us our next 4 in line, Rayon, you are going to take point at number 8.
All right, we don't have a number 8. We got a tie at number 7. We got the Bulldogs and the Cowboys, and it's pretty appropriate because I figured those two are about on an even playing field right now. But Bulldogs and Cowboys are tied at number 7. At number 6, we have the Warriors. And at number 5, we have the Raiders.
Alrighty. And Rhino, take us home with that top 4. Uh-oh. Rhino, if you're talking, I cannot pick up your mic.
All right, let's try this again.
There we go.
Number 4, we have the Mustangs. They stayed in the same spot. The number 3 team this week is, it's the Buccaneers. 2, Titans, and one we have the Seahawks. So it looks like the top four stayed the same last week to this week.
Yeah, and that's just one of those things until it's probably going to be tough for anybody's vote to shift until you see them play each other or play a few more common opponents to get an idea. But that's not unusual in those very few top spots. Somehow, and I'm saying this as guilty of it as anybody, tend to be a little bit more hesitant to shake up the top four, whereas I'm not necessarily that way with the bottom four, um, for whatever reason. But I mean, I'm just telling you, for me personally, it takes a little bit more to shake up the top four. So.
And 3 of those teams were the teams that didn't play this week. Seahawks, Titans, Bucks.
Right. Correct.
Yep.
Just so people understand how the schedule is, those teams will make up on the next holiday when the 6 that did play this weekend will have to bye on the next holiday.
Yep. So, and the next one coming up, I believe, is the Thanksgiving weekend, correct?
Yeah, I believe
Or
so.
are we
Yes.
off? We may be entirely off that week, though. I'm not sure. I have to pull up the schedule.
Yeah.
But all
Take a
right.
look at that.
Well, there you go. And I will throw up our stats for you. And another reason to come live, you can get all of the breakdowns a lot earlier because I just res it right out here on a prim for everybody to look at. So there you can see the top 5 or the top 12, how we all voted. They're averaging last week's placing, this week's placing, and then how much they moved. The green numbers indicating that they improved in the rankings, the reds that they dropped back. So we'll just jump right into the meat of it and say what did you guys see as far as the rankings? What did you see on the field? Is it related to any movement that you did on your votes this week versus last? And we'll go from there. So anyone, y'all jump right in.
Patriots, Cowboys kind of got me a little bit this week. Not going to say I'm surprised. I figured they were pretty evenly matched. It's just surprising for me to see the Pats without a win this late in the season. Or not this late. We're only a quarter of the way through. We're 4 games in. Everybody knows by the end of the season, Razzle will have a team built and he'll be making a playoff run. But that's the one that really got me was the Cowboys and Patriots. Real close game.
Yeah, and I didn't expect that. For me, I'll just jump right in and say that I was most impressed with the game that I ended up commentating on Friday night, and that was the Mustangs and the Bulldogs. Rhino, you were out there for a little bit of it, for all of it actually. But I mean, even in the loss, I had a lot of, felt very impressed with the Bulldogs and the strides that they had seen. That's why I moved them up a couple of spots this week, I believe. Maybe I had them at number 7 last week, just going off of memory. But yeah, I was impressed with that game. It was exciting. It was energetic. Maybe it was just because I had to pay real close attention and commentate it, but I really enjoyed myself. I think that everybody that was in attendance and watched it felt the same way. So for me, that was the biggest. That spurred me up number 6, and that was why the Mustangs held on at that number 4 spot as well. So a good game overall.
The Mustangs are a hard team. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Playing them, you never know what you're gonna get when it comes to Blaze. Because he's gonna make you leave your ankles somewhere. You're gonna have a hard time finding them. But I am proud of our team. We did make some minor mistakes that we're gonna work on to correct. But we dug in, even though it says we lost by 14. To me, I feel the score was the game was a lot closer than what the score showed, because it was a back and forth thing.
Yeah, well, in this league, 14 points is a close game.
Right. I mean, that can change
So,
on a drop of a hat.
Yeah,
And
that can be just one simple kickoff score and then throw a pick and score. So, and
Yeah.
then close the whole rest of the game. Tit for tat, trading touchdown for touchdown.
right. And that game really, up until the 5 or 6 minute mark, was bouncing back and forth between a 7 and 14 point game. And then at one point they pulled the lead to 21, and then you guys, everybody just kind of thought, well, this one's over and it's going to stand right here, because there wasn't very much time left on the clock, and y'all just marched right down the field and closed it to within 14 again. So It was I never want to say good loss, but you know, just be candidly, you guys last season, I think if you compare the way that game felt versus, a loss where you guys last season, whenever, it didn't really look as positive and you weren't sure exactly where the answers are going to come from, has to be night and day different. Like that one wasn't, you know, that one wasn't probably that bad. In fact, I mean, like I said, I don't often use the word, good loss, but, um, it looked pretty good.
And I kind of have to apologize a little bit. I didn't get to watch that game, but now it's time to brag for just a moment. Friday night, my first grandbaby was born. Yes, I am the old man in the league. My oldest son had a daughter named Amelia Marie. So, fortunately, I didn't get to watch that Mustang Warrior game, but I will go watch it on the replay.
Yeah, it's a good one. I'm not sure. I hadn't even checked Hitbox. You know what? I know it's up because I've been talked to by a number of my friends on both teams that watched it. Because a couple of times I made the mistake of calling the Mustangs the Broncos because they were both horse logos, and
Yeah.
I just missed it. But yeah, so yeah, that was a good game. Like I said, that ended up that's the one game that in my mind over the weekend most drastically affected my rankings. Um, I was kind of shocked, to see the Cowboys come out ahead of the Pats, just because they've got a lot going on internally right now over at the Cowboys. I mean, that's obvious with, the recent departures that I'm sure will be talked about a little bit on Thursday. But yeah, I mean, I didn't see it. So yeah, I mean,
There's been a lot of movement this week, not just with the Cowboys. There's been a good bit of movement going on this week.
oh yeah, I mean, it went crazy there for a little while. I mean, everybody saw that Jazzy had left. That was a pretty big shock for most, that weren't around the situation as close. That I know a lot of people weren't didn't see that one coming. And then just a number of others, like we mentioned, Tom and Matt. We not mention them by name, but everybody knew who I was talking about.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's several others. Jace is on the trading block right now. There's a couple others out there still floating.
Magma landing with the Patriots.
Right. I
Yep.
didn't. Yeah, I knew there was one that I couldn't place, but I mean, it was just one of those things. And a few weeks ago we were talking, and we've still got a few spots that we aren't. We're not just knocking down doors trying to fill, but would fill if the right spot came open. And we all made that comment. At this point in the season, you just kind of sit back and watch, and there will be a number of movements that happen. So we didn't expect that we would be one part of it at that time, but yeah, so that wasn't really shocking. And there will be more. I mean, once that dominoes start, people are going to because now teams that these players are going to are going to be affected. There's only so many spots on the field. Somebody might get their feelings hurt. Somebody might go somewhere else. You don't know once the dominoes start happening and that silly season kicks in. Ours is a lot more interesting than the NFL trade deadline. I mean, I'll just be honest with you. Like nothing.
It's kind of boring today.
Right. Vernon Davis. I mean, that's it. Come on, dude. I mean, 5 years ago I might have cared about that, but no, whatever. People in Denver.
With the Titans, we're in the same situation. We've got one veteran spot we could fill, but we're scared to post it because.
Well, you just did.
Well, I mean, we've got to name the position we're looking for, but you're scared to post it because there's only 9 spots on the field, and if you're not willing to accept the rotation with almost any team these days, because everybody is so talented, if you're not willing to accept the rotation, then everybody's gonna be angry. I tell people, be patient. These rosters are big for a reason. Our intention was to be able to have an offense and a defense, 9 offense, 9 defense. But that isn't how it worked out. So most of these players, like I said, I think there's going to be some moving around, but I think by week 6, 7, it should start settling down.
We have a rotation on our receivers, and we actually our line is pretty much the 3 key people, but we have multiple that can jump in there and fill those spots if needed. But I think throughout the season, I honestly think 5 through 9 on our rankings is going to bounce back and forth between teams.
Yeah. We're going to see a little bit this week, though. I know we got the Mustangs playing the Bucks.
Yeah, we
Titans
do.
Playing the Warriors. we're going to see a few tests this week.
We have the Seahawks.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's some good games out
it's it's gonna be good, and I don't know who in the world had to pick this week for our Saturday game, but I'm here to tell y'all, if y'all see me, like if we have 10 or 11, and for whatever reason that game is comfortable, and y'all see me log out at halftime, it's probably because Alabama and LSU have kicked off, and I'm like, all right, fellas, y'all got this. Man,
Peace out. Yep.
dude, Rayon, I sold my season tickets. All right, I had to sell them for this game just because of the schedule. So
You're a bigger man than me.
that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, it hurts, dude. It hurt. So yeah, I'll be there, and I'll be running next door, and watch the game with the neighbors and scream and holler a little bit as soon as I can get away.
The LSU Alabama game is one game I usually like to watch at home because you get a little bit more better view. I mean, there's nothing like the atmosphere of being in Tiger Stadium. I'd love to go to Bryant Denny one time. But that's a game where I really generally don't even have a party. I need to be on the couch by myself with nobody within swinging distance.
Right. Yeah. It really is. It's college football stops for that game, or at least they have in the recent years. And with good reason. They flashed a graphic I saw coming down Alabama's Twitter line where it showed the game. I think that it was the game after y'all won 9-6, the next regular season game.
2011.
Yeah, and it had a breakdown of all 11 players on our field on both sides of the ball, and all 22 had gone to the NFL or either through the draft or practice squad. So
They're
literally all
22
NFL
rosters.
Right, and then I saw the reply from LSU, and it was like, yeah, ours are too. so it really, both of those have done a remarkable job of being a pipeline to the NFL. And I'm sorry, we warned everybody that we would be talking about it this week. I know.
But anyway, looking over the power rankings, I think things after this week, like I say, we got some matchups this week that are really going to set the power rankings. Then coming down the road, like I say, everybody plays everybody, so they'll shuffle up, they'll move around, but for the most part, I think they're starting to balance out now. The one team that I still haven't seen anything out of that you yourself and a couple others are high on is the Broncos. Still not seeing nothing out of them.
Well, I mean, let's see. All right, I'll answer first on that one. I think partly, I mean, if you look at the teams I've got behind them, I've got the Pats, the Huskies, and the King Cobras. I think everybody this week, before this past week, agreed that the Huskies would be number 12, and then you see them handle the Cobras. So everybody fell right in line and dropped the Cobras. So there's no argument there. I'm not sure the Huskies would beat anybody else right now, but they're moving in the right direction, and that's the first time this season I felt that way. So I've got them at number 11. The only one that's questionable, I mean, I know you're saying that I'm a spot higher than you, and that's the Pats. And I mean, honestly, the Cowboys right now, unless things change, I feel like that's as high as they're going to make it this season. They have got some work to do. They have got some people to fill. They've got some spots to replace. That's not a knock on the guys that are still there. I'm still good friends with a lot of them, still love a bunch of them to death. It's just that, as that silly season starts, right now they have been they have taken arguably as big of a hit as we have in that they lost the numbers, whereas we've lost our starting quarterback. So I mean, it's going to be tough, and you never see it. We may be peaked as well. I'll go ahead and just throw that out there. I don't believe we are, but to be fair, you lose a starting quarterback, and you never know. I think we'll surprise some people still, but we've got to prove that on the field a lot more than worry about whether or not I believe it or say it on a show. So there you go. So we're already at best hovering at the 10 spot. So when I look at what the Pats have done and that they are winless and that they lost to this Cowboy squad that is going through so much right now, I just couldn't put them. I couldn't put them above the Broncos, who have been recruiting well, who have that full roster, who don't have a whole lot of turnover that they're not choosing to do. You see them every now and then they'll go through a vet or a couple of rookies just washed out or whatever, but that's not people aren't leaving the Broncos willingly. They're just saying thanks, but no, we have enough people, and so that's why I ultimately decided to throw them at number 9. ahead of the number 10, where I put the number 10, the Pats.
Yeah, and other than that, I think everybody's about fell in place to where they're at. The King Cobras, there's a wide receiver on that team near and dear to my heart, but fact is they lost to the Huskies and they lost it bad. Now they did sign a new quarterback in Jason Black, Jason the Lamb, who seems to be helping them a little bit. So we'll see how their season goes. But right now I see Huskies and Cobras just hovering right there,
Right.
11, 12,
Right.
maybe switching it up a little bit. Then I see the Broncos right there at the 10 until I see something different.
Yeah, and you may be right. It's one of those that at this point, while there is limited information on the teams, we're making as a lot of valued just kind of judgment calls. Later, as teams have crossed up, we can defend a lot more. Well, but this team did this here and this there. But right now, that data is just not there. We're entering week 4, or actually entering week 5, but a lot of teams have only played 3 games because they were off for week 4. So there's still a lot of interaction yet, waiting to happen. So from that regard, it'll be easier to make those determinations as we go along.
And with me looking at these Cowboys, I see potential possibly to move into maybe top 10 if they get it together. I don't know if Fearsome is real active on the team. Fearsome is one of those that's always been a great player, shows up for game time but doesn't put in a lot of practice time. But if Fearsome and Fontes get on pace with each other, that's almost that's as deadly a duo as most other ones. So I got a little more faith in the Cowboys than you do, and a little less faith in the Broncos. I think that's about where we stand with those.
I got you. And yeah, and I don't want my, I guess, lack of faith at the moment to. It's not like a permanent thing. I think with them.
Oh no,
it's
changes
just
every week.
Yeah, it's just where I see them right now is a very vulnerable and very pivotal moment, and what they do from here the next few weeks is really going to have deep lasting impacts going forward because. It's difficult for teams to stay there. They're either gonna push forward and get a lot better, or things are just gonna spiral out of control. And so that to me, I mean, is as honest of a read as I can give you right now of where they appear to be. I could be dead 100% wrong. I just don't know.
We've told people if you don't want to hear the truth or you don't want to hear our honest opinions, don't watch the show.
Yeah,
they're our honest opinions, but they're just that they're our opinions.
Right.
There's no facts. It's just what we see and what we think. So
yeah, and I
just challenge it. Go out and prove me wrong. I want the Broncos to go out and rip off 5 wins in a row and jump in my box and say, "Ha, what do you think now?"
Right. I had that happen a couple times last season. Be like, what do you think about that number 8 spot now? Be like, all right, my bad, you got me. But yeah, it's all in good fun. I try to do, I'm going to be as honest as I can. But I'm going to try to do it respectfully. I hope I do a good job of that. I don't want to just trash anybody's efforts. But
a lot of respect for Cash and Baldev. Cash, a long-time SL football player. Baldev taking a step down from ownership this year to concentrate on the team, letting Thumper take care of the ownership stuff. So a lot of respect for the Broncos. I haven't seen the on-field production.
Yeah, and I think it's coming. Like I said, I've been real high on them and the Bulldogs all season as far as teams I felt like had a whole lot of upward mobility. So far, the Bulldogs have cashed in on that a little bit quicker than we've seen the Broncos do. And it remains to be seen. I don't know. I went out on a limb and said I thought they would. They might not by the end of the season. So we'll find out. But yeah,
we haven't give Rhino a chance to talk. We got on LSU, Alabama, and then just
right
out from there.
Yeah, good.
Rhino, jump on in, man. We're
my thing is with the Broncos, and this is with any team that runs a 2 quarterback system. Your main quarterback is getting most of the time with your receivers and your linemen to know how that person plays. If you're going to run a 2 quarterback system, the quarterbacks have to take equal time and reps, or it's going to totally screw up when you put the other quarterback in there and they're not used to how this person plays. They're used to how the other one plays. I mean, and the Broncos are a prime example. They have a two quarterback system. Cash is taking, as far as I have seen, Cash takes majority of the snaps. Baldev does jump in and take snaps. But you've got two total different people there. Now, I know Baldev and Cash are both working together to try to get their similarities so everybody's together. But still, you've got Cash that likes, most of us that know Cash and have played against Cash know Cash is a quick pass person. He'll take the shot down the field every now and then. But if he sees the opening on those quick passes, he's going to slam it. He's going to hit you as quick as he can. And literally, you're not going to get any pressure on him unless you send extra people. And then you're going to leave yourself open downfield, and that's when he'll take the shot.
You're not going to sack Cash.
No.
No.
I mean,
you might as well send two and play coverage.
You would
go sack that dude.
Yeah, send your DEs and everybody else drop back for the coverage.
Same with Rasden. Rasden has gotten that play style lately. You're very rarely going to sack Rasden. They're running straight backwards and looking to throw. So,
if either of those ever got sacked, like there would be so many, a wayward eye turned to the offensive line. Like really,
I have sacked Cash and celebrated that like I just won a Super Bowl.
Right.
I've got Rasden in a scrimmage one time, and I, like Rayon did, I celebrated the hell out of that.
Yeah.
And then Rasden's like, I see how you are. I'm like, what? That's the first time in how many years that I've sacked you?
Yeah.
Man,
But going to that two quarterback system, Titans, we were Titans, we've been together a long time. The one time we did make a bowl, we run it on a two quarterback system. We run it with Pit Boss and Ray Robert, and two completely different styles of play. And it was up to us, the line, to learn those two styles of play, like you're saying. And we learned them. And the two quarterback system didn't really affect us. But if you don't have a skilled line that can adjust to those two quarterbacks, then it's a problem. I think this year we're running a four quarterback system. I think I may even take a couple snaps at quarterback.
Let me just tell you that I hope that's against us because I've seen you throw. No, I'm just playing. I'm just
chuck and duck. That's what I call it. Chuck and duck.
Right.
We're running a one quarterback system unless that quarterback's not there.
Yeah, and Kay's been a lot of fun to watch this season. I am not even gonna lie. I remember back as far as our days together at the Warriors when she was first just QB and starting up at scrims. Or pickups, and I remember getting picked, on her team and learning to watch her and just thinking, man, she has got a whole lot in front of her as far as potential, and it's really been fun to watch her grow and get that chance. So hats off for you for taking that chance, and I think so far she's been a pretty nice payoff on that bet.
I'm gonna say this. She's learned from one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Her husband Ray. Hell, I picked Ray's brain last season a little bit just to see where I could make improvements when I was being our full-time quarterback because I got thrown into the role. So I'm gonna say this: my hat goes off to everybody that picks and chooses to play quarterback because it's not easy, and you are the first one to catch everybody's hell.
And talking about Ray Robert, he's kind of one of these unsung heroes that people don't talk a lot about. Ray Robert had a lot to do with the development of the football that we're playing now, with the beta testing, the BIFL. As a matter of fact, people know that Ref HUD. When you hear that voice, that's Ray Robert.
Right.
Ray Robert is one of the unsung heroes of this SL football, along with people like Pit Boss and Rasden, that would literally put in 10 hours a day beta testing to make sure that a throw worked, to make sure that a handoff worked. So yeah, those guys have put a lot of time in to get it to where we are now. and a lot of these newer players don't quite appreciate it. So that's why I say one day I'm going to res an SFL field and hold a pickup game.
Oh, please do, man. Please do. I miss it.
Yes.
I
Then they
miss
can,
the
well,
duck walk.
they can see exactly, or they can see the when you get blocked, you run across the dang sim,
Yeah.
Right.
and you can't get out of it for almost 2 minutes. You actually literally have to relog, get out of it.
Yeah. So,
Um,
but you know, like I said, we've got a real good system. We've got a real good league management with the owners this year. We've got some real good talent that has come in, and that talent is spread out. So that's why we have this power ranking show, and that's why it's going to move all year, because the talent, the people. This is going to be a lot of fun this year.
and the teams, I mean, you can have all the talent in the world, but if you're not meshing with your team, it's not going to work. So as the teams come together, they find the right chemistry. I mean, I'm gonna say it, Titans. Look how long y'all have been together, and y'all keep adding key spots, and you guys just get more and more better, and harder to beat. The Seahawks, they came in as a new team last season, um, and
But they
went,
came in as a group, so they already had that
yes.
chemistry. So
So the chemistry was there, so they came through, and basically they had some tough games, but they pretty much, I'm not gonna lie, they ran through the league.
they just whooped everybody's ass. So what you
Right.
gonna do about
And
it? I'm gonna throw it to Jaden on the hash, and you ain't gonna do nothing about it.
and Jaden, there were several games I didn't get to commentate last season, but I watched several of the Bills games, and I was like, how the hell did Jaden come up with that?
Yeah.
There's no way. There's three people, and Pac is another one of them like that. I'm just gonna leave it there on Pac.
Yeah, like I say, we've got talent everywhere. We've got teams that are meshing. I'm looking forward to this weekend because, like I say, there are some key games that are going to tell us a little bit more that'll help us with these power rankings. And you know, we'll be able to work through them. Mustangs Bucks must see this week. Titans Warriors must see game this week. Those are going to be games that shape this power.
Yeah,
Like I said,
absolutely.
I've always had the Mustangs and Bucks 3-4, and they could flip flop 3-4, 3-8, 3B either way. But this week they play each other. Sorts itself out.
Yep, and it always does. You know, it always takes care of itself by the end of everything. So that is for sure. Well, we will open up at this point. I know there's a lot going on this week, so Twitch traffic is not that incredibly high. But if there is any of the ones out there that are watching that had a question for anybody about rankings or anybody in the live audience, people in the live audience can't shoot me a question because I've got it set to where I can't see IMs, but you can shoot any of our two other hosts a question. I can't read local either. I've got all of that off. You can send me a message on Facebook if you really just need to hit me up with a question or something. Anything else you can direct to us through, like I said, the Hitbox chat or shooting us a message in World if you had any kind of question on the rankings.
Most of them have taken me off their friends list. So.
Right.
Not that Rayon again.
Yeah, well, between you and Tor, I don't even know if any of you have a friend anymore.
Me and Tor talk from time to time, but I don't even have him on friends list. I have to look him up in the players group when I want to send him a message.
Well, today you could have followed the angry mob with pitchforks, and they were heading off towards the castle where that beast lay. You like the way I did that there? That was impressive. All right.
Just a friendly reminder, everybody. Let's have our discussions. We can even argue. We can do anything y'all want to do, but just please keep it out of that UFL group. I don't want to see anybody have to. I don't want to have to go to a meeting for a COC. We can argue, we can fight, we can scream at each other. Let's just not do it in that UFL group.
I was gonna say we haven't even had a COC yet this season, have we?
Yes.
Couple tried to sneak in here and there, but they've been handled.
I gotcha. Well, I noticed we start talking about COCs and violations, and Kazi's not here anymore, so. No, I'll catch it for that one. Yeah. I will catch it for that one.
You know, I don't want to go to these owners meetings to begin with. If I have to sit in there one for a COC or something on Facebook, I'm gonna lose my freaking mind.
Yeah.
But you know, we did lighten it up. Remember, you could get a COC for your private Facebook, so we took all that out. Just put it on your own page, argue, and we'll let it go.
Right.
Unless it gets racial.
Yeah, unless it gets racial in that UFL group.
So
But
while we're
I trust me, I enjoyed the discussion. The way we work out problems is through discussion. Even if it's a heated discussion, you bring your point to the table, you make your point, uh, argue about it, go on about it, and we'll go from there. It's part of what keeps this league running.
Yep,
so while,
absolutely. And two, and this is for everybody. The first place when you see a problem or an issue that you should go is your owner, because they are almost 10% of the decision making power in the league.
Yeah.
So if you don't like something, you're real close. That person that gave you the pin, they have an opportunity every Tuesday
And they
night just about to go and make a
and they
vote.
voted on every one of these rules.
So and sometimes I'll go out on a limb. Sometimes there are things I guarantee you, Rayon, that y'all have put in. I know we even talked about one beforehand that on paper sounds great, and then in the owners meeting sounds great, and then when you put it into practice, the players start seeing things like, that's not going to work. And so then
Yeah.
you just go back and revisit it. It doesn't make them bad. It doesn't make the players bad for noticing it. It's just handle it. It's not a big deal.
Take it to your owner. If your owner can't figure it out for you, take it to your player rep. Let your player rep then take it to Tom, and it'll get figured out. But first should be take it to your owner, because more than likely they voted on the rule that you're asking about.
Yep.
yep.
So there are avenues out there. It's good to see. Like I said, and really the arguments are good. I mean, because you want people to be passionate,
Yeah,
and you're not
yeah.
going to argue about something that you're not passionate about, obviously. So it's good to have that people, that excited about everything. We're just saying take the heated stuff over to the unofficial. That's what
Yes.
should be there for.
Yes.
Like
So Rayon doesn't have to sit in an owners meeting with a COC.
Right? Yeah, what you got?
Just
Somebody
please.
send you a question for me?
yeah, actually Tom did.
Okay.
Not sure if I really want to read it though.
Oh, boy.
He wants to know. I'm gonna read it because Tom put it out there, so I'm gonna read it. You're gonna have to answer it.
All right.
It's to you.
Okay.
Like, I almost know if his butt looks good in those pants.
Well, all right. Everybody out there might want to view in real quick. I'm about to show everybody what Tom's over here selling. All right. So that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is that the milkshake that brings all the girls to the yard? Right there, that one. That one. I'll be honest with you, Tom. I mean, if you were, if hang on, don't stop. I quit zooming in there when you went to twerking. But I mean, dude, if I had to classify it in football terms, I wouldn't call you a tight end. Maybe a halfback. So there we go.
Yeah.
Oh man! All right.
While we're waiting on some other questions, I'm fixing to put Rayon on the spot.
Do it.
All right.
Do it.
I'm good.
All right, Rayon. So Sunday's first game, Mustangs Bucks. Who you taking?
I'm kind of a spread person here. I like to gamble, bet games, look at the spread. So to answer that without actually answering it directly, I'm gonna say the Bucks are favored by 7.5.
And if that is the line that you were given, I would give the points and take the Bucks.
Well, then I guess I'm gonna be opposite of both y'all.
All
I'm
right.
going Mustangs.
All right. So what have you seen that's making? I mean, you just had a firsthand encounter with the Mustangs. So what
did.
What did you see in that makes you think that they're ready to step up into the top three? Because I'll be honest, I was one of the main, like, oh yes, top four, and then we went out and laid an egg. So I'm not willing to throw us in the top four discussion anytime soon. But for the sake of the Mustangs, all right. So tell me why there's very little difference between the number 4 and number 3 ranked teams.
Number 3 and number 4. Hold on.
Mustang
Cam back
Bucks.
over. Mustangs and Bucks.
Yeah, the two you were asking about.
So my thing is I haven't got to see the Bucks play very much, and um, they've got loads of talent. Even this big beast that's here in front of us right now um, is a force to be reckoned with. But the what I like I said, I haven't got to watch a lot of them, so but I have watched a lot of the Mustang games, and I think the Mustangs have come together better than they were last season. And I think the key thing for the game for the Mustangs is making sure their blocks are down, because if the blocks aren't there, Blaze is not gonna have the room that he needs to. What I know firsthand from playing with him and against him can do. Um, Cam is deadly on leaving ankles lying around as well if he's quarterbacking. I don't know who else they have quarterback though.
They've used Gerald. Um,
If he's
tore
Gerald
off
time,
Gerald, his quarterback, the complete game against the Patriots.
right?
Off jumped in there for 2 drives and
He had Toroff's always good if they need to give a turnover, they can count on
Tor
that.
jumped in there for 2 drives.
That's right.
So
Well, see, but
they,
I heard Tor's going to the cheer side this game.
I think it's Tom is on the bench cheering this week.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Tom is cheering from the
Tom
bench.
has to set
My
his
bad,
1
Tor.
week.
I got the wrong
So,
info.
but yeah, with me, I've seen the Bucks play. No doubt they're talented. I've seen the Mustangs play. They're talented. But setting the line, like I said, at 7.5, that's pretty general saying I know it's going to be by at least a touchdown or more. No disrespect to the Mustangs. I've seen them work real hard. And key player on their side to me is Veronica. She's a beast at linebacker. I just don't think they're there yet. Maybe it's a good thing that they're getting the Bucks early in the season. Maybe later in the season they'd be a little more bonded, working together, because the Bucks still only have once this season. But I just don't think they're there yet. But like I say, it'll work itself out this weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And throughout the season, all of these rankings will work themselves out because they're going to play each other, and we'll have something to look at. And, how did it work out? How bad were they beat? What did they give up? Was their quarterback there? Was he not there? A lot of different variables, but that's the reason for 16 games. So if your quarterback does miss a game, it doesn't ruin your season. It's going to work itself out.
Absolutely. Well, we are winding down under 10
Yep.
minutes of left time. We could use less than that if there are no more other questions or interactions. So, people out there, if you got them, send them in.
I'm gonna go one more shot here, and this is for Tor. I'm gonna set the over under on Tor sacks this week at 3.
I could see that. I could see that. And if I had a how many snaps he was taking at QB, I would set an over under on interceptions. But that one's tough. I would take 3 on the Cobras, or not the Cobras, the Mustangs. The Mustangs are going to be done with me here if I keep calling them wrong team names.
Yeah, you're gonna get that message from Marlo.
Right.
Vito.
Right. Can you get a CFC for calling somebody the wrong team? I did for saying somebody's uniforms one time looked like Oregon's. I got CFC.
Yep, you did.
That was fun.
I do remember that. That was retarded.
Yeah, that team is no longer in the league. They did
No.
not make a full season.
No, they did not. They didn't even make a full preseason, dude.
No.
Um,
But they had 8 different uniforms.
They did. I actually liked them. It was meant as a compliment. I wasn't trying to.
Yeah, but they took it wrong. So
Oh man. Dude, if I had $1 for every dumb thing I've said behind the commentator booth, I'd be a wealthy
Or
man.
pasta slipping over the F bombs back in the day.
Yeah,
He was always good for one. He
sometimes two.
right.
Yeah,
It just depended on how wound up he got.
yeah.
All right. Well, y'all, if there is nothing else, then we are going to tell you good evening and invite you to watch Thursday night as I am joined, as I usually am, by the gentleman on the right hand of my screen wearing the highlighter yellow shirt. And Matt Asador will be bringing the Pulse to you live. And then we've got a whole weekend full of games, even in the midst of a wonderful college football weekend. We're going to be just as competitive on our little virtual field. So be sure to tune in. You can do so on the stream that you're watching if you're watching on Hitbox now, or you could contact the owners or players on your favorite teams and get tickets to attend the event live. Gentlemen, I'll let you say your goodbyes and then we'll be out.
Actually, the league does sell tickets too for the games.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Through the league, too.
Yeah, good game this week. Good luck to everybody. I'm out.
Good luck. Have fun. See you later.
All right, everybody.